Good evening, everyone. You feel free to be seated. So thank you for being here tonight to celebrate the 2023 graduating class. My name is Caleb Phillips, and I'm the Utilities University Program Manager. First and foremost, I'd like to bring up Chris Browning, the Utilities Director, to give a few welcome remarks.
So can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. In the back? Because I don't like standing here, right? First of all, you made it. Congratulations. So when I'm in front of a crowd, I like to talk about a couple of things that are a little bit important. First of all, our mission. You know, we do a couple of things. We treat and deliver safe drinking water. We collect and treat wastewater. And we pick up the trash. And we do that to support public safety, public environmental health, and a lot of people don't think about this, we enhance the economic prosperity of the entire region by doing those three things. And if we didn't do those three things, you've heard me say this, Oklahoma City could not exist, right? So it's important what you do. It's really important what you do. Our vision is to be an example for other people to follow. And guess what? You are, right? You're graduating. You're an example for other folks to follow. And I'm so proud of you. Do I really need this? Is it on? Okay. I'm really proud. Congratulations. Thank you for doing what you've done. So, I want to talk a few minutes about leadership. You went down a track for supervisor training, but it's more about leadership, in my mind, throughout the organization. It doesn't matter what level you're at, my level, any level in the organization, you can be a leader. You know, this is one step in your career path that's very important. But I'm looking for leaders. The organization's looking for leaders. And so some people kind of interchange leadership and management, but it's really different. It's totally different. And so I don't mess it up too bad. I'm going to read a few things here to talk about leadership. So first of all, leaders look forward and imagine the possibilities that the future might bring. They don't just do what they do every day. They look at the possibilities of what they can do, right? Leaders ask why. And many of you have probably gone through the lean training, and that's the whole idea behind the lean training is ask why. Why are we doing that, right? Do we need to keep doing that, or do we need to do something else? And just as important, why not? You know how many times in my career somebody's told me, oh, you can't do that? Why not? And I think I've proven that we can do things. You all have proven that we can do things to make the organization better. We're in a dynamic world. We're not in a static world. So if we don't keep looking at what we're doing and deciding, do we need to keep doing that? Might have been a good idea at one point in time, but maybe not today. Should we do something else? Leaders do that. The best leaders lead and let their managers manage the work, right? So think about leading. Of course you have to manage, right? You have responsibilities, you have to manage, but think about leading along with that. Be a visionary. You're well on your way. You're here tonight. So I want to talk about the characteristics and qualities of a good leader. There's 10 of them. And again, I'm going to read them so I don't mess them up. So first and foremost, integrity. So what's your integrity worth? You know, some folks, will pay for something and they'll get too much change back. They might get an extra $10 bill. And they think, oh, my good fortune, right? Is your integrity worth $10? Is that what you're going to sell it for? Probably not, right? Not you guys. So integrity is very important. You might have heard Brett talk about this from time to time. 100% accountable, 0 excuses. Any of you all heard that before? You know? Again, integrity. Own it. We all make mistakes. I don't worry about making mistakes. I want to know, what are we going to do next? How are we going to not do that again? You learn from those mistakes. Own them. Learn from them. I can give you a whole list of things that didn't work, right? But a couple of things did. So learn from your mistakes. The ability to delegate. Enable your direct reports and help them grow. That's your job. Help them grow. Build trust within your team. That's really important. You know, if folks don't trust you, they're not going to follow you very far. You know, you're going to run up the hill and look behind you, and there's going to be nobody standing there. So you have to build trust. You have to enable folks so they'll trust you. Communication. We're working on a communications plan right now. It's very important. We heard it during the Gage survey. We don't communicate very well. Well, we're going to fix that. Effective leadership and effective communication are intertwined. That's a matter of fact. People want to know why they're doing something, so they believe that you know what you're doing, right? So they'll follow you. Two-way communication is essential. So direct, coach, and listen. Don't just direct and coach. Listen. And then there's self-awareness. The better you understand yourself, the more effective you can be. You know, you got to know what folks are thinking about you by the way you're acting, by the way you're responding, by the way you work within a group. So understand how other people view you as well. Right? Again, listen. And then there's gratitude. Most people say they'd be willing to work harder for an appreciative boss. You ever heard that before? Right? A sincere thanks. A sincere thanks. And gratitude for a job well done go a really long way. And we don't do that enough. So we're going to start doing more of that. Tell people thank you for doing a good job. Thank you for doing what they do every day. They deserve it. And then there's learning agility. What do you do when you don't know what to do? Right? You have to do something. Great leaders are great learners. Think about it. Do something and then learn from it. And then influence. Inspiring, effective leaders are able to convince people through logical, passionate, and cooperative communication. They're not manipulating, they're inspiring. But people have to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. Empathy. Show inclusive leadership and empathetic behaviors towards your staff. If people don't know you, how are they going to trust you? If you don't get to know people, you don't understand what they're thinking, what they're feeling. How are you going to earn their trust? And I got a little secret for you. I have to earn your trust, not the other way around. Think about that. And then courage. Courage enables leaders to step up and move things in the right direction. Sometimes it's hard to speak up. Sometimes folks have a tendency to avoid things instead of confronting things. Don't do that. Be a leader. Step up. Figure it out. Own it. You'll be better off. And then respect. Respect is more than the absence of disrespect. Again, that goes back to the whole thing I've been talking about. You have to understand one another. You have to trust one another. Respect's part of that. And then finally, I want to give you 3 words. Keep them in your back pocket. These will get you a long way. Passion, patience, and the one thing that we don't have enough of is grace. You know, post-pandemic, grace has gone out the window. Those 3 things are very important. Patience, passion, and grace. So, thank you very much. I'm proud of you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Chris. I'd now like to introduce Aaron Collins. Aaron is the Superintendent of Metro Technology Centers.
Well, good evening. It's so good to see you. And we're just grateful, first of all, to Oklahoma City. Chris, thanks so much for entrusting Metro Tech to be able to be a part of this. And we're just grateful to be a small part of this. But more importantly, thank you so much for your time and your willingness to grow and to listen and to improve your skills. So I just want to let you know right now that I just got a text. I guess I didn't pay my Oklahoma City utilities bill, and that's due, I think, tomorrow. You'll take care of me? So think about that for a second. 3 things I want you to think about: service, empower, and grow. Service, empower, and grow. First of all, I want to say thank you for your service. To each one of you in serving one of the largest cities in the United States. What a great impact that you have, and to serve. And I want to apologize that I take you for granted a lot of times when my water runs like it's supposed to and my trash is picked up and I may have accidentally took something out there on the wrong day and you got it anyways. And I'm so grateful for that. But that shows your service and your commitment, not only to each other and to your divisions, but to this city that we all love. Secondly, thank you for your leadership in empowering others. Your understanding and knowing you can't do it all and don't have the brain capacity myself to even try to do it all. And so thank you for empowering and leading and empowering others to be able to get the job done. And then thank you so much for your willingness to grow as an individual, to grow your teams, to continue to grow this great city that we all get to live in. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the great work that you have accomplished thus far. Congratulations on the great work you'll continue to do, and can't wait to hear the wonderful stories of success. And congratulations on this milestone tonight. You're just flipping the page in another chapter. So congratulations to you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Okay, so I'd like to draw your attention to tonight's program. Many dedicated people have helped make Utilities University possible, and those include leaders in the Utilities Department and Metro Technology Centers, Metro Tech and city instructors who share their knowledge and their experience, Oklahoma City and Metro Tech support staff, UU Graduation Planning Committee, couldn't have done without you guys, and the students themselves. Thank you all so much for your support and your contributions to Utilities University. I would now like to invite Marie Pijanowski up to the stage to help me give an overview of the Utilities University program.
Glad to see everybody. Oh, wait. Let's see if we could get it there. Okay. Can you hear me okay in the back? All right. Okay. Thank you all for being here. Wait, this is still, okay. There is a quiet hero amongst us, and she was ahead of her time in starting and fathoming the leadership program. It was Susan McCormick it was her idea to think about a leadership program, and that was years ago. Now, in the last couple years, everybody's all about leadership, but it didn't used to be that way. Oklahoma City, again, they're way ahead of the game. So thank you to her and Chris Browning and all who have supported this wonderful program. She knew, that's right. She knew that effective leadership required training. Oh, what a concept there. The program is designed in tiers. So it starts out with foundational, which is accountability, and Greg Jones, our instructor, is here tonight, and he's going to be helping present the certificates. And then also ethics, that's so important. Professionalism, motivation, interpersonal skills, and diversity. We first have to get along with others to create ground. We have to connect in order to even get to the trust part. Then we have a business writing, critical thinking, and it goes in stages, and they have 3 years to take this program. Reports and lots of computer programs in literacy, effective supervision, in-house programs taught by their experts. Let's see what else. Lean, and they have electives. It's a fantastic program, and they keep adding to it. So as I said, connection must be created in order to build trust. And I did something in each class that helps people thrive. Everyone would come up in front of the class, and they're so happy I did that every single time. They really weren't right at the beginning, but y'all got used to it, right? Yes, and we liked it, thank you. Because they got to see who was in the class and learn about them in order to have real conversations about tough things. If you don't connect, you can't create trust. You cannot build a team. We do have to know about people's family, what they're facing, what their joys are. We have to know that. It's so important. We would do breakout groups, and everybody would get to stand up again. But by standing up, by using your body language, you create your leadership. So I would always say, if we have a problem with the water, with the waste, with the city, and somebody is speaking about it from utilities or waste, one of the departments, we have to evoke confidence, trust, great body language. It's part of leadership is your body language, by making yourself have great stature, good poise, and going from there. They are so good-humored. In every class, we had lots of laughs because everyone was relaxed and enjoyed learning about each other and congratulated each other. So it was our privilege to be a part of them. And I want to congratulate and thank the supporting staff at Metro Tech who helped us all carry out this program. So thank you so much. We appreciate you, and congratulations, class of 2023.
Thank you, Marie, and thanks for always being a perpetual source of energy and enthusiasm for us. So the primary objective for our workforce is to make this a career rather than just a job. People quit jobs, but they invest in their career. Approximately 12 years ago, we identified that a large portion of our experienced workforce would be eligible for retirement over the next decade, thus creating a significant risk to system reliability and resiliency due to the loss of that knowledge from those experienced employees. A number of initiatives were then created to address that risk. One of those initiatives included the creation of Utilities University as our systematic approach to building needed workforce skills and knowledge and delivering required training for compliance, safety, and licensing. We launched UU in 2012 as a 3-year continuing education program that allows employees to enhance their knowledge as well as their skills. To complete the supervisor track requires 164 hours worth of classes, consisting of 5 required core levels and several electives. For the majority of classes, we have partnered with Metro Tech, and we have a host of utilities employees who teach internal classes for us. UU is designed to instill leadership qualities in the next generation of our workforce. To date, not including this class, approximately 87 employees have completed the UU track, supervisory track. So welcome to the club, everybody. Rest assured, though, if you are a supervisor, the journey is not done yet, as we are excitedly ready to announce Phase 2 in the fall for the continued education program. So I hope you all look forward to that. I know I do. So each year, we ask several of our graduates to share their thoughts about their UU experience. These are the department's current and future leaders. Tonight, our first student speaker is James Cooper from the Line Maintenance Division. James has 6 years of experience with the city and is currently serving as a collection and distribution crew supervisor. James?
Good evening, everyone. Since I'm straight. We're finally up to graduation and still a little nervous sometimes to try to talk. And, they were so excited to try to have me to talk. So I was excited. I'm always excited doing the program, so wanted to make sure that whatever I had to say would meet the level of excitement that they had. But I was just excited for all the courses that we had taken, and it was just so fun when we had done it. But going over some of the courses that we have taken through there, it was just so amazing to be able to be challenged with some of the classes that we had. We had the accountability classes, and a lot of times people think I'm gonna sign up for a class, take off work, and have an easy road. But it was really nice to be able to be challenged in some of those courses, and take those same skill sets back to your respective departments and be able to be an example for whoever else is around to try to see what program you're in. And it was real good to be able to show the guys what you learned, and just having that chance to take the initiative to learn something else or sharpen your skills. Take professionalism for example. We were able to learn new details and things and try to take that and go back to the department and be able to be better than where you were. And so it was just exciting to have that program and several others. The Grow Coaching thing was a really great idea. It just showed you a couple of steps on how to address things if you come across some conflicts. And it was just good to be able to be challenged and have that idea to implement on the area that you're going to next. And, so a lot of people haven't been to a lot of other departments or a lot of jobs. And it's a good thing here at the city, especially the utilities department, that they're able to invest into the employee. So that's just an amazing job. A lot of companies don't do that. The utilities department is happy to be able to make a leadership program so that, your pathway doesn't stop right there. You're able to continue to go more. And it was just, it was just really great idea. There's so many other programs that we had taken. It was just great to be able to sharpen your skills and just be able to, do what you need to do. And it was great when we had the course meetings, I'm drawing a blank. When you do the, what's it called? When you do the group meetings, when the case studies, there we go. When you do the case studies, you're grouped up with so many other folks that are in other positions, And you get to find out the solutions that they make and see where you fit in or what kind of idea you can offer them, and or even learn what they can say in a situation that you're in. And so it's really exciting to be able to find new ideas, find new solutions, be challenged in new areas, and be able to challenge yourself on, progressing at what you do, being a leader, and what you can offer down the line, and seeing what other folks do in their positions and see if you can do the same, or prepping yourself to be able to do that same thing. So it was just an amazing ride. Really look forward to the next opportunity that they offer, the next phase. Really looking forward to seeing what I can do next and what utilities department will be able to make out of me. So I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, James. Well said. So our next speaker is Charles Williams from the Administration Division. Charles has 37 years of experience with the city and currently serves as a training analyst. Charles?
Okay, thank you, Caleb. Again, my name is Charles Williams. I'm a training analyst with the City of Oklahoma City Utilities Department Administration Division. Chris has already spoken of our mission, so I'm not going to dwell on that. However, I do want to reemphasize our vision, and that's to be an example for others to follow. The Utilities Department is a major department with 10 different divisions or line of businesses with many promotional opportunities. We have customer service, wastewater quality, water quality, solid waste, line maintenance, fleet services, engineering, enterprise systems, southeast water supply, and administration. Every training that you've completed, certification you've earned, they all have prepared you to adapt to change and future challenges. There was a quote by Jane Goodell, "What you do makes a difference, and how you decide what kind of difference, what you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make." You have to find work that you love to do. Your work is going to fill the majority of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to believe in the work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found yet something you love doing, don't just settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. There's a saying that if you find something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Michael Jordan once said, "Some people want it to happen, some people wish it would happen, and then others make it happen." I would like to thank Chris Browning, Brett Weingart, Metro Technology Center, Susan McCormick, Caleb Phillips, Patricia Worthington, Alexis Perkins, and Jeff Preston. They are truly the representation of the department vision to be an example for others to follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Up next, I'd like to welcome Hayden Harrison from the Utilities Enterprise Systems Division. Hayden has been with us for 2 years, and she is currently serving as a systems analyst too.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. So my name is Hayden Harrison. Like Caleb said, I'm a systems analyst in the department. And I want to start with a story about how I started with the city. So in November of 2020, I applied for a SCADA analyst position. Okay, I had no business applying for a SCADA analyst position. The only reason I knew what SCADA stood for was because I Googled it, okay? But I knew the city was a great place to work, and I wanted to apply. So I did. My thought process was, if they say no, oh well, right? At least I dusted off the resume. So I apply, and a couple months go by. And one day, on my way home from work, I get a call from someone from the city. He said, "Hey, Hayden, I got your application for the SCADA position. Listen, I'm going to be honest, you're not qualified for that position. Sorry. But I do have another position that you are 100% qualified for. It is a GIS position, which is what my background is. It's what I went to school for." I said, "Excellent. I'd love to apply." He said, "Great. The only thing is, job posting closes in 6 hours. So get on it." I said, "Okay, I got it. I'll make it happen." So I go home, dust off the resume again, do some interviews, and 2 months later, I start with the city. As of this past March, like Caleb said, that was 2 years ago, and the person who called me, encouraging me to apply, is now my boss, Josh Morgan. And so the point of telling you that story was not to tell you that I know really nothing about SCADA and a little bit about GIS, but rather, if I had never applied for that position, for which I wasn't the most qualified candidate, I never would have been presented with a better opportunity. I never would have been able to further my career, right? So I say to you, even if you know you won't be the most qualified person in the room, they could say no, right? But they could say yes. So just take the leap. You never know what could happen. So now, when I started my Utilities University career, it was right after COVID, and classes were just starting back up. Many of us were still reacclimating to the idea of being in a room full of people, like real life people, right? But the staff and the instructors did an excellent job ensuring we were safe and comfortable in this new space. And over the last 2 years, the thing I grew to love about UU was the different levels of instruction, like was mentioned. So this ranges from level 1, those personal competencies, to level 5, advanced industry-specific knowledge. And while I really enjoyed those advanced level courses on, say, our organizational vision or our water wastewater ops, right, I believe the real value of UU comes from those classes you take in the very beginning, those level 1 personal effectiveness competencies. Classes such as accountability, interpersonal skills, diversity and cultural sensitivity. These aren't skills you learn in a trade school or in a college course, right? You have to be intentional. These courses force you to think about how you choose to interact with others, about how you see the world, and about how your actions and emotions are interpreted by those around you. And one of my biggest takeaways from UU is the idea of emotional intelligence. So you can be the most technically skilled person in the room. You can have an IQ of 150. But if you don't know how to talk to someone, if you don't understand how your emotions affect others and how their actions affect you, you'll never be the best person for the job. Emotional intelligence is key in everything we do, both personal and professional. So in conclusion, in my relatively short time here, I just want to say that I've never seen an organization care more about the success and growth of their employees than right here. If our leadership only cared about how well we perform our job tasks, we would only be in those industry-specific courses, learning how to do our daily duties. But through Utilities University, through those very first courses that we take, we're learning how to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Hayden. So tonight, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker. He has worked for the City of Oklahoma City for 22 years in a variety of different roles. He currently serves as the superintendent for our Fleet Services Division. I've known Jerry for a long time, and I've watched him develop into one of the most effective leaders within our organization. It is my great pleasure to introduce our keynote tonight, Jerry Johnson.
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Jerry Johnson, and I'd like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to grace your presence this evening. Although I must admit that when I was asked to be the keynote speaker, I said to myself, "Self, you don't even like to speak, let alone be the keynote speaker." Now, I must assure you that Self didn't reply, so that is a plus on that end. But what's funny is that Miss Susan asked me as we were actually headed in the staff, and when she asked me, I reluctantly said yes, because I know if she asks, I'm going to end up doing it anyway. But I said yes, and as we took our seats, she pulled out the rough draft of the program, and my name was already on the program, so I thought that was quite interesting. So now I was told that all I had to do was pretty much talk about myself and paint a picture for you all. So just so you know, I have had a couple of slip, trips, and falls along the way. We do have somebody from safety in here, Julian. We do have some slips, trips, and falls, but these are going to be all non-recordable, so we're good to go. So if I had to describe my journey with one word, it would be perseverance. Doing something despite difficulty or delaying achieving success. Perseverance is not a long race, it is many short races, one after another, by Walter Elliott. So, start my story. I was born in 1970. No, I'm not gonna go that far back. So, but I did graduate from Millwood High School, located right up the street, about a mile and a half up the road, back in 1996. I was one of those kids that really didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with my life. So what I did is I followed my girlfriend then, wife now, off to college. Now, college was short-lived because she convinced me that we needed to have our first daughter early. And it took a lot of convincing, y'all. It took a lot of convincing, but I was like, hey, why not? She pulled my arm, and she said that, if we start early, we can have grandkids early. And so I'm like, okay, well, get the kids out the way, have fun with the grandkids. Hey, sounds like a plan to me. Let's do it. So I thought it was perfect planning. So now college was on hold, and I had to get a job. Now, at the same time, I figured that one day I would go back to school and finish. So I joined the Oklahoma Army National Guard in 1998 as a mechanic. So that way that when I did return to school, I would have the GI Bill actually pay for my education. So fast forward to June 14th, exactly, of 2001, I landed at the doorsteps of utilities line maintenance, not knowing that that would be my future career with the city of Oklahoma City. I started off as a utility worker trainee in the sewer section. And now this is when we had zero AC in trucks, y'all. The only breeze you would get is when you're driving down the road and you can turn your little wing window and it would kind of divert the wind to kind of blow on you as you're rolling down the road. And now we've got people turning in trucks as the AC is down. But I got it. Hey, it's safety, I got it. But I'm just saying this is where I came from. So then one year in, a position came available down at Fleet. At the time, Fleet actually fell under line maintenance. So the transition was pretty easy back then, just being able to transition within the same division. So 6 months in, as a result of 9/11, I had a 2-year stateside deployment to Altus Air Force Base, also known as Altus America. So this is when I got my first steps in as being in a leadership role as a young E5 team leader. So returning to line maintenance 2 years later, in 2005, I was pleased to know that I didn't lose any of my seniority. They called me up immediately on all my step raises, just as if I had, had boots on ground the entire time. From that point on, I knew that I was in it for the long haul. So I got back settled in back in 2005, and what happens 2 years later, 2007? What happens, Matt? Salazar, you know what happened. We get deployed to Iraq, all right? We get deployed to Iraq. I got deployed as a E6 team leader with 10 soldiers, but now in an infantry company. That's not what I signed up for. I signed up to be a mechanic, but now I'm with infantry. So at this moment, I knew that 11 Bravo was my first MOS and not a mechanic. And for you guys that watch TikTok, I'm sure y'all thought I was going to say something else when I said at that moment, you knew. If you don't, look it up. So during this time, a fleet operations position had came available. It had flew, and it was occupied all the time while I was in Iraq. Needless to say, I was a little hurt, a little frustrated. Now I got love for the brother that got the position, Mr. Terry Howard. But however, I was disappointed. But you're still my boy. I was disappointed, but and understandably, I mean, you know, I want to do things in life. So I do my time in country, and I come back to the States late in 2008. And by the time I get back to work after using all my leave, it's January 2009. So I get settled back in. I'm back in my job. I'm turning wrenches. 2011, what happens? I didn't hear you. Afghanistan. Get deployed to Afghanistan. Third deployment. This time I go as an E7 with 30 soldiers. So I'm sure y'all see the pattern here now. However, I returned home 2012, just in time for Utilities University. This is when we're about to lose 40% of the experienced employees through pending retirements. As I went through UU, I looked at it as an opportunity to enhance my leadership qualities and listen and learn from others, as well as get 1 to maybe 5 steps ahead of my colleagues that weren't taking advantage of the program. So pushing forward, we were coming up on graduation, UU in 2015. I was excited, so excited that I was looking into returning to college. After hearing nothing but encouraging words along the way, I enrolled in college in 2016 in order to pursue my bachelor's in organizational leadership. And I was also impressed that a lot of the same curriculum that I learned in UU was some of the same things that I was going through in organizational leadership. Okay, so this one right here is for free. All right, so this is something that you can tell your kids, kids. It's just good stuff. So, okay, so my baseball coach told us something that was been stuck in my head for years. Now, there's only 3 things verbatim that I can remember that he's ever said. I don't know why, but they just stick in my head. One is go. So, go is, I was 4.2 speed. I mean, I had wheels. I was fast. I was smoking on the bases. So when he said go, I'm stealing bases. I knew. 40-yard dash all day, 4.2, right? So number 2 is you bet not swing at that. What he was referring to is we're playing a baseball game, and I'm playing Northwest Classen, and the pitcher had a smoking arm, and he threw a high fastball. I knew it's not something I'm supposed to be swinging at, but it looked good, it's fast, and I had the most unmechanical swing. However, I connected, y'all. And as I took off on my 4.2 speed, I round first base. I get all the way close to second base, and I'm looking at my third base coach to see if he's telling me to keep coming, but he's not. He's telling me to slow down, meaning I'm running too fast. Y'all. So the thing is I was running so fast, I was focused at trying to get around first to second, third. I'm running super hard. And I wasn't able to see my first and only home run over the fence for my high school baseball team. First and ever. I've hit many inside the park home runs, but I mean, you gotta huff it the whole way. This is first time over the fence, and y'all have seen people hit home runs. You like to trot because you just did something, right? So that's my first time, but I missed it. But the point of that is enjoy your journey. So that's my high school career. So next, number 3. In his words, now this is his words, not that other one's mine. This is his. In his words, make sure you marry someone smarter than you. So that's what I did. Wait, honey. So now the caveat to that is somebody's going to have to get the short end of the stick, right? So that other half is going to have to think that you're smarter than them. So you're going to have to do dang good in order to convince them to make sure, so that way they think they getting something that they're not, all right? So that was for free. Make sure you tell your grandkids and your grandkids that. Kids. All right. So I'm fresh off the UU trail, and I'm back in school. And I'm ready for this 40%. I'm ready for this 40% workforce to start retiring. And it hits. Bam. Just like that bat, just like that home run I hit that I didn't get to see go over the fence. It hits. And it seems like the field operations supervisor positions was popping up everywhere. I apply, I interview. I apply, I interviewed. I applied and interviewed so many times that I called Miss Susan out of frustration. Now, these are department positions, so I told her I felt that I was qualified for these positions. And I feel like I'm knocking these interviews out the park, but I'm not getting anything in return for all the hard work that I'm putting in. Now, I'm sure it sounded something like that, but at least that's what I remember. It may have been something totally different. That's the conversation I have in my head. But so I started putting in applications throughout the city so I could just land a management position anywhere at this point. So obviously, I didn't have a crystal ball, so I just listened. Susan told me to give it some time, your time will come. I'll repeat, give it some time, your time will come. So I waited. Now, I'm impatient as it is, so it seemed like it took forever. But as I look back at my timelines, perseverance, many short races. I graduated UU in 2015. I went back to college in the fall of 2016. Mid-year 2017, what happens, y'all? What happens is I didn't get deployed. However, there was a hiccup. We did get put on alert status for deployment to Afghanistan. As I told my wife as we're standing in the driveway, that I'm going to have to deploy, she starts crying. Our daughter so happened to walk out at the same time. She's crying. They see mama crying, everybody crying. They don't even know what they're crying about. They just crying because mama crying. So what saved me was that I was getting ready to retire in 2018 from the Guard. I was like 3 months out. However, as I reflect back on my wife crying, she started crying even harder when I told her that I didn't have to go. Like crocodile tears. So I'm like, okay, are you crying because you're happy that I'm staying, or you're mad because I'm not going? So until this day, I still haven't asked her, but anyway. So back to my timeline. If I had gone on that deployment, I would have missed out on yet another opportunity for a promotion. I got promoted to Fleet Operations Supervisor in November of 2017, and again to Fleet Services Manager in 2019. And then I got promoted to Fleet Services Superintendent in June of 2022. That being said, I had my evaluation just this past Tuesday, this Tuesday. It was a good one because I wouldn't even say that if I did. If it wasn't good, I promise you I wouldn't have brought that up. So Brett looks at me and he says, "You made it to the room, so now what are you going to do?" Thank God I didn't have to answer at that moment. I mean, because literally I was just thinking, I'm just glad to be in the room. That's just what is right. I'm glad to be in the room. I'm soaking it all up. And I'm going to have to work on those, and I promise you I will. But the reality is, there's only so many chairs at the table every Friday morning. just like there's only so many that's graduating this evening. So ask yourself, what's next? What are you going to do? But after it's all said and done, I can truly say, I'm glad I sat still and I held on. So now, when others from our work family approach me about the challenges that they may face, I can tell them to sit still, give it time, your time will come. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Very well said. So each graduation ceremony, we kind of put together a slideshow, time capsule, memory journey of sorts. So we scoured the archive. We found some old photos. A lot of us look a lot different from back then. So we're going to go ahead and get into that slideshow. I hope you guys enjoy this stroll down memory lane.
A celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate your party with you. Come on now. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on! It's a celebration. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. There's a party going on right here. A dedication to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate and party with you. Come on now. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Yeah, yeah. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? It's a celebration. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. Come on now. Celebrate good times, come on. Let's celebrate. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright, baby. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. Come on and celebrate tonight. 'Cause everything's gonna be alright. Let's celebrate. Celebrate good times, come on. It's a celebration. Come on and celebrate tonight. 'Cause everything's gonna be alright. Let's celebrate. Celebrate good times, come on. Celebrate good times,
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Okay, so now we're going to move into the awarding of the certificates tonight. So I'm going to invite Chris Browning, Utilities Director, Susan McCormick, and Greg Jones up to the stage, please. And Marie. Come on up here, Marie.
Good evening. I'm Susan McCormick, and I appreciate all the kind words. Brett really is the initial creator of UU, but I'll take credit. Thank you. Yeah, it's true, it has been a lot of work, but it's been fun. So if we would, we're going to have the graduates kind of in alphabetical order approach the stage, and then we'll hand out the certificates and get a photo of each person with Chris. So, if you guys would stand up, thank you. Yes. I think we have a photographer over here, yes. Would you like him here? Okay, right there's good. Okay. Our first graduate is Tiffany Booth Tinsley. She's from customer service. Got a picture? Our next graduate, one of my favorite people, Stanley Bumgardner from Water Quality. Oh. Dwayne Celestine, another one of my favorite people from Water Quality. Get a picture. I'm sensing a theme here. Another one of my favorite people now is James Cooper from Line Maintenance. Another water quality employee, Emily Curry. Daniel Day from Water Quality. Another Daniel Fleury from Water Quality, our lab manager. Ricky Gilbert from Water Quality. I'm seeing a lot of water quality folks here. Good job, Jeff Bolden. And representing engineering, Larry Hare. He and I go way, 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 way back. Thanks, Larry. Hayden Harrison. Enterprise Systems. And I want to take credit for hiring our next person, a very dear friend of mine, Jesse Hilly. He's doing double duty in customer service and line maintenance right now. And one of Jerry's favorite people, Terry Howard from Fleet. Another of our employees from Enterprise Services, Jared Johnson Cox. Herb Jones from our Warehouse and Administration Division. and Steve Krosnick, who came to us from Water Quality, but he's now in administration. And one of my favorite electricians, Daniel Muro. And Kim Nixon from Water Quality. And representing Water Quality and the Tinker Group is Trey Perdue. And Daryl Ross has been waiting forever for this day because he started quite a while back but got kind of slowed down by the pandemic. So we're glad to see you made it, Daryl Ross from Line Maintenance. Matt Salazar from Water Quality. Another of our former military vets. And representing wastewater quality, David Sobel. And also representing engineering, Brent Ward. And Tony Whitlock is from Wastewater Quality, and his lovely wife, I believe, is already a UU graduate. And Charles Williams is somebody who helps me every day of the week, and I appreciate him. He's from administration. And we made Caleb go last, but I can honestly say we couldn't have done any of this without him, Caleb Phillips. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the Utilities University class of 2023.
Okay, so before we conclude the program, again, I'd like to thank Metro Tech for the use of the facilities tonight, and thank Metro Tech and UU Graduation Committee for all of their help in making this event possible. So real quick, housekeeping, graduates, we're going to stick around. We're all going to come back up on the stage and actually take a group photo together. But other than that, this concludes tonight's program. Everyone's welcome to stick around for refreshments out in the lobby. We've got a photo backdrop wall, we've got a 360-degree camera, and all sorts of memories to be made. So thank you, everybody.